Hi. So if just first off, if you just stumbled upon this video, it may not be super useful for you because I'm just explaining something that I built. I don't actually tell you, or go through the code in detail for you to replicate it. So there's that. Just warning. But what this is it's a little application that I built that allows me to distribute different machine learning models across multiple servers instead of running them all locally in a loop. So Caret is a kind of a wrapper package that talks to many different machine learning packages for R. And so you can take a training data set, a model formula, your control, and then you can run multiple models in a loop and see which models perform best and compare them. The problem is that once you get into very large data sets, this can take a very long time. So what I wanted to do is to be able to spread that load between multiple different servers. So what happens is it takes the inputs, stores that data into a Mongo database, and then this data is pulled by each server, and part of the inputs are, and I can just pull it up. So we're going to run these instances here. So the data is being split. There's 18 servers being created right now, and each server is going to run one of these particular models. So let's look at it. So let's pull models here, and so this IP address here is going to run this model. This IP address here is going to run this model, and so whenever this data is pulled from these from these different servers, each server is going to take its IP and then run that particular model. And then with that model data, it's going to send it to my personal EC2 instance where I can pull down those models, check to see if they exist, and if they exist, then terminate these instances. So if we restart here, we'll see that these indeed are running. The next thing that we can do is we can take an IP address and just see, is it starting up? And if it is, then great. One thing that's kind of cool about this is that if you're, for some reason you're not getting data back, you can jump into the server and see what's going on. So if we came here, ran this, we're actually now jumping into that instance. However, this is not necessary unless you just feel the need to check it out yourself, or like I said, if something starts going wrong. So now that these have been running for a minute, we'll start checking to see if we're getting models back. We're running this on the Iris dataset, so it shouldn't take too long, especially on these big computers. The time here is, running these models locally would probably make more sense because they're so small, but this is really useful for once you get into some really large models. Okay, so see if we were to come here and run these instances, it might have already completed, maybe not. Let's see, 167 hasn't finished yet. So if we wanted to, we could actually run the model here, but that's not really necessary. Let's see if some other models have completed. And if it, like I said, if it sees that a model is completed, then it'll go ahead and shut it down. Looks like most of them are done. Okay, that one's not done. If you come over here, you'll see that we're starting to shut down now. So it looks like we're just waiting on one. I'm going to go ahead and just terminate all instances. I don't think that we need to wait for that last model. So once that's done, going to do kind of the same thing here. All right, so now if we check, let's look at these instances here. There's just this one that's running, but if we check it here in just a second, it's probably going to be shut down. Yep, okay. So now they're all more or less shut down. Give it just a second. All right, so let's read in the models. Running some Caret stuff. Now we can see which models actually perform the best. So we could look at maybe 222. We'll reload the models here. Best model. Okay, that's from a prior, so let's go to 222 right there. Okay, so some of these don't always work. So let's go to 60. All right, so it looks out of the 45, only one was missed, and something went wrong with this one, but that's totally fine. We ran a whole bunch, so you know, the next thing I'm curious is, okay, so what happened here? So we could look at control. Actually, let's go to instances, and then models, and then so 222 was associated with a support vector machine. So maybe it's the case that this just isn't useful for it, and so I could, you know, you can go in and research a little bit more. 60 was another support vector machine right down here, and then the next thing I would do is to maybe open up Caret and then model lookup, and then look for the support vector machine linear 2, and then see which package it's associated with, and then maybe go build out that model there, see if it makes sense, check my assumptions, etc., to make sure that it you know, is a model that's useful. So yeah, so that's that. I hope that this is interesting, and I'm willing to consult to talk about setting one up.